In the quaint tapestry of Rockville, Maryland, where white picket fences aspire to touch the cerulean sky and manicured lawns flaunt their emerald pride, the chronicle of our protagonist, Elijah Blackwood, takes its opening breath. The town, a self-proclaimed fortress of ordinary, belied the undercurrents of a reality more complex, more convoluted than its residents could comprehend. Elijah, a man of 52 winters and countless storms, was an anomaly amidst this sea of uniformity. His graying hair bore silent testimony to battles fought against the chimeric beasts of addiction, his sunken eyes a mirror reflecting the maze of his childhood trauma. He bore no uniform, only a thick skin tempered by time and trial, and a heart that bore the weight of kindness without faltering. He sat in his small, cluttered office, the room echoing the silent rhythm of the town's heartbeat. The air smelt of aged paper and stale coffee, a strange concoction that he found oddly comforting. Across him, a tremulous woman, Mrs. Hazelwood, the curator of Rockville Museum, wrung her hands, her worry etched in each creased line of her face. "My grandmother's amulet, gone. And it's not the only artifact missing, Mr. Blackwood," she said, her voice quaking like a leaf caught in an autumn breeze. "It's like they vanished into thin air." Elijah nodded, a soft, understanding light in his eyes, scribbling notes with a slow and steady hand. He recognized the fear of losing something irreplaceable, something precious. "Tell me about the other items, Mrs. Hazelwood. Any patterns you've noticed? Any connections between them?" "Well, they all share a common history," she responded, her lips curving into a frown. "They belong to an era long past. Each artifact possesses a tale, a story of old civilizations, extinct cultures, as if they were," she paused, her face paling, "keys to another time, another world." The word hung in the room, dense and foreboding. As he comforted Mrs. Hazelwood and reassured her of his commitment to the case, the shadows in his office seemed to stretch and shift, whispering the first strains of an elegy to the reality they knew. Outside his window, the sun began to set, staining the sky with hues of twilight, the day fading as if surrendering to the looming obscurity of the night. The world of Rockville, Maryland, a world steeped in ordinary, was on the verge of a terrifying revelation, a revelation that would be ushered in by an ex-alcoholic private investigator, a man who once lost his way as a child and was now tasked with finding that which had been lost. Little did he know that his next steps would lead him down a road that danced with shadows, a road that was chaptered by the echoes of an ancient, cosmic horror. A pall of mystery hung over the heart of Rockville, a veil of shadows that dared the uninitiated to peer beneath. While the town slept, shrouded in the deceptive tranquility of ignorance, Elijah began to waltz in the company of the unseen. His pursuit of answers drew him to the stony silence of the Rockville Museum after hours. The darkness held a certain reverence within these walls, the antiquities whispering echoes of forgotten epochs, murmuring their undecipherable tongues. He navigated the labyrinth of time-stained exhibits with a torchlight, its beam slicing the darkness, revealing fragments of histories displaced. He arrived at the exhibit that held the now-missing artifacts, a hollow scene that cried out in its desolation. He studied the empty displays, each void speaking volumes of the absent treasures. What connected these relics of bygone eras? What secrets did they whisper into the ears of the encroaching darkness? A chipped statue of a Sumerian god, a tattered scroll of Incan rituals, an Egyptian amulet that once lay nestled against a pharaoh's heart, all vanished into an oblivion that was more than mere theft. A sudden movement, a smudge of uncertainty, nudged at the periphery of his vision. His heart pulsed a louder rhythm as he turned, catching the retreat of a spectral figure, its form more darkness than human, flickering between the edges of reality. "Who's there?" His voice shattered the silence, his question echoing unanswered. He chased the elusive shadow, the eerie dance of the figure leading him deeper into the labyrinth. As he stepped through an unmarked door, a chamber of secrets unfolded before him. Stone tablets, alien to his understanding, stood erect, their engraved mysteries winking under the flickering torchlight. In the heart of the room, an empty pedestal screamed in silence, its occupant taken. A chill slithered down his spine as the spectral figure solidified, its presence undeniable now. His eyes locked with the figure, a melange of curiosity and fear mingling within him. His battle against addiction had taught him to confront the unseen terrors, his personal trauma lending him a certain resilience against the darkness. The figure, a shrouded traveler, eyes glowing with an ancient wisdom, extended a hand toward the vacant pedestal. As if on cue, Elijah's hand dipped into his coat pocket, retrieving a small artifact, a trinket Mrs. Hazelwood had handed him, a key to another world. The world of Rockville was shifting, its shadows lengthening, its mysteries deepening. He was in the midst of an enigma, ensnared in a dance with the denizens of another dimension. The dance was growing more fervent, the tempo escalating, and with each step he was approaching the yawning chasm of cosmic horror. As the hands of the clock interlaced in the silent prayer of midnight, Rockville was oblivious to the cosmic ballet unfolding within the skeletal frame of its museum. Elijah stood before a chasm, the borderlands of understanding, where reality turned amorphous, melting into a grotesque parody of itself. The veil was lifting, the shadows uncoiling, revealing a world teetering on the precipice of the unfathomable. Before him, the spectral figure resolved itself into solidity, its form a shifting maelstrom of inky shadows. Elijah held his breath, his hand clutching the trinket, a tiny amulet shimmering with a history untold. It was more than a key. It was an invitation to a dance with cosmic horrors beyond mortal ken. The figure, its voice a sigh of desolation, spoke, "This realm, your realm, is but a facade, a mere veneer stretched over the pulsating darkness of the cosmos. We, the travelers, exist within those folds, residing in the shadows between the stars." A cosmic revelation unfurled before him, a dire dance of dimensions, twisting his understanding of existence. The stolen artifacts weren't mere antiquities. They were links, bridges, conduits to another realm. The spectral traveler continued, its voice a hollow echo. "We are neither your enemy nor your salvation, Elijah Blackwood. We are custodians, guardians of knowledge your world is not ready to comprehend. We took the artifacts, yes, but only to prevent them from tearing the veil, from unveiling the abyss before its time." Elijah found his voice a shaky whisper in the vast silence. "Why show this to me? Why now?" "Because you possess the will to understand, the heart to comprehend," the traveler replied. "The labyrinth of your past, your battles with unseen demons, have prepared you for this. You are the fulcrum upon which realities balance." Elijah's heart throbbed with a raw mix of terror and fascination. He was standing on the threshold of a truth, the edges of a revelation that would shift the axis of his understanding, of his very existence. The artifacts were more than missing pieces of history. They were fragments of a cosmic puzzle, keys to understanding an unseen reality, one that danced with shadows and whispered with spectral voices. The spectral figure faded, a promise lingering in the air. "We will meet again, Elijah Blackwood. In the meantime, ponder upon what you've seen, what you've heard. The darkness is deep, and the dance has only just begun." As the words hung in the echoing silence, he was left standing alone in the room, his reality distorted by the unfathomable terror of his encounter. The abyss had yawned open before him, its dark chasm a grotesque allure. His understanding of the Rockville thefts had taken a dark twist, and as the world around him seemed to shudder and shift, he realized that his true dance with cosmic horror was yet to unfold. In the solemn hours that presaged dawn, as Rockville lay cradled in the arms of the moon's silvery glow, Elijah found himself at the threshold of a confrontation beyond mortal reckoning. As the words of the spectral traveler reverberated within him, in the form of a symphony of dread and awe, he realized he was no longer a mere spectator in this cosmic ballet. He was now the prima ballerina, about to step onto a stage where reality intertwined with the ineffable unknown. The museum loomed before him like a citadel of secrets. Its darkened windows bore silent witness to the shifting cosmic tides within. His fingers traced over the amulet in his pocket, its cold metallic surface a grounding tether amidst the churning sea of cosmic horror. He stepped into the shadows, their inky embrace a familiar refrain. The spectral traveler, a storm of shadows contained within a vaguely humanoid form, awaited him. "You return, Elijah Blackwood," it whispered, its voice the echo of a forgotten time. "Have you made peace with the abyss?" Elijah drew a deep breath, his heart pounding in erratic rhythm. His past battles with addiction and trauma had prepared him for the unseen, the unknown. But this was a battle of a different kind. It was a fight for understanding, for balance in a reality teetering on the edge of cosmic chaos. With courage born of desperation and a resilient spirit, he replied, "I have come not to make peace, but to understand, to bridge the chasm between our worlds." A ripple of approval seemed to flow through the entity. "Very well, Elijah Blackwood. The dance begins." And thus a dance unlike any other unfolded. The museum's antiquities bore mute witness to a confrontation of wills and understanding. Elijah, armed with the resolve of a man who had faced his inner demons, stood against the spectral being, its form a swirling tempest of cosmic energy. There was no violence, no clash of titans. It was a subtle negotiation, an intricate ballet of comprehension, threaded with empathy and courage. The entity placed the stolen artifacts back onto their pedestals, each item humming with an energy that echoed the heartbeat of unseen realities. "These bridges between realms shall remain here, guarded. They hold the knowledge your world is not yet ready to grasp." Elijah, now understanding his role in this cosmic play, nodded in agreement. He had come face to face with a horror beyond his imagination, only to realize that horror was merely a veil, a misconception born of ignorance and fear. As the spectral figure faded into the shadows, the last vestiges of its voice lingered in the air. "We shall remain in the darkness, between the spaces, until your world is ready, Elijah Blackwood. Until then, we wait." The breaking dawn seeped through the museum windows, painting the world in hues of nascent light. As Elijah stepped out of the museum, his steps echoed with the rhythm of his victor, not one of conquest, but of understanding. He had danced with cosmic horror, peered into the abyss, and emerged changed, enlightened. As Rockville stirred from its slumber, oblivious to the drama that had unfolded, he walked away, his eyes reflecting the depth of the cosmos, his heart beating in tandem with the rhythm of unseen worlds. The dance with shadows had ended, yet in his heart, it had only just begun. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it and subscribe to our channel, where you can find more similar stories, and click on the bell icon to never miss one. There is plenty more cosmic horror to come from the Eldritch Tales Factory. Stay tuned, and until next time.